Well, Rome wasn't built in a day. Nebraska football's not going to be rebuilt in a day either. That's pretty darn clear after Oklahoma thrashes the Huskers 49-14. Sooner bummer. Oklahoma goes for 580 total yards. They rush for 312, just like the old wishbone days for OU. Nebraska's defense still really struggling. You hear the OU faithful cheering in the background, the Nebraska band trying to drown them out. Oklahoma was a much better football team today. I got to say this, I'm wrong. Oklahoma's pretty good. I didn't think they would be nearly as good as they were today, but they are good. They're fast, they play hard, and they really drowned out the Huskers after a great start for NU. So, right, they get a stop, Nebraska did, on OU's first drive, and then they go and score right away. 4 for 4, 68 yards. Casey Thompson, first drive, throws to Trey Palmer, first score, 32 yards, 7-0. This place is lit up. It was fired up. And then Dylan Gabriel took some of the air out of the balloon right away with a 61-yard quarterback draw that went for a touchdown, and it was, emblematic of Nebraska's defense. It should not have been a 61-yard touchdown. At most, it should have been about a 25-yard gain, but there were bad angles taken. There were guys who quit on the play, and so OU ties it up. And from there, Oklahoma completely controlled the game. They had a nice game plan. They threw a lot of short passes early. Then they tried to throw it deeper later. They had the quarterback run game going. They got some interior runs going. They ran for 312 yards, and they really messed with Nebraska's offense. Let's be honest about it. Nebraska's offense was overwhelmed today. Their offensive line missing Teddy Prohaska, but I think it was more that Oklahoma brought 5, 6, 7 guys. They brought it from different angles, and Nebraska's offensive line was not able to adjust. 4 first-half sacks to Thompson. Thompson left the game in the third quarter, I think probably just because he was a little banged up and he wasn't very effective. Chuba Purdy came in and led a late touchdown drive to cut it from 49-7 to 49-14. But at the end of the day, Nebraska just did not have the juice on offense. They didn't have time. Thompson didn't have time. There weren't a lot of running lanes. The Huskers ran for 163, but a lot of that was late. At the end of the day, Nebraska's offense just didn't bring much today. Oklahoma's defense really overwhelmed them with a good scheme and a lot of speed. On the flip side of the ball, honestly, I'm not that surprised. I thought maybe Nebraska could hold Oklahoma under 500, but they didn't. It was 580, and it probably could have been worse. Oklahoma had its backups in the third quarter. At the end of the day, Nebraska is just not there defensively. The tackling angles aren't very good. The speed isn't very good. The athleticism isn't very good. And when Nebraska tried blitzing, at times it worked, but at times it really didn't. And it just burned the Sooners, and now you hear them doing the Boomers Sooner there on the other side. They deserve it. Oklahoma is a top 10 team in my book. I'd say they might even be top 5 if they're going to play like they did today. They played really well, especially on defense. But what can you say about Nebraska? Well, they got a bye week coming. Maybe they make changes on defense, maybe some coaching changes, maybe some personnel changes, maybe some changes in the staff and administration, those kind of things. You could do that. I don't know if this game is emblematic of what's going to come. Indiana, I think, is currently behind. They're trailing Western Kentucky. They're not very good. So there'll be a different team when Nebraska comes back to play after the bye week. Nebraska needs a bye week. This fan base needs a bye week. I'll be honest. I kind of need a bye week. Nebraska loses to Oklahoma 49-14. For Husker Extra and Omaha.com, I'm Sam McKewon.